Good afternoon, folks. You know what day it is. It is Friday, and I am excited to drop a new episode this week. You already know that this episode hits home because this is not only the first time, but it's the second time I have this guest on this episode. Please welcome one of my great friends, Kat Nelson, to the show.
Hello, Lisa. I am grateful to be back.
What's up, man? How are you doing today?
I'm good. I've been home, kind of like recollecting myself, doing chores around the house, making dog treats, just taking some time to myself. So
Yeah, man. I originally, I reached out to you so we can have this episode, not only because I love talking to you and we always have a good time, but we were going to talk about Combat Night
right.
because March 13th is coming up soon. I mean, I've been talking to you for a while about, this card, and, it was expected, and we were hoping to see you on this fight card, and
Yeah.
you're in the middle of your fight camp, and all of a sudden Mitch tells you, hey, your opponent, not only one but two opponents pulled out on you for this card. So I
Yeah.
mean, tell me what's up, tell me the deets, tell me how you're feeling. Let our viewers know what's up.
Well, I mean, I really wanted to go pro actually by the end of this year. And in order to do that, I wanted to get some more experience. I just think like you need the cage experience, the ring experience, whatever experience, as much experience as possible
Right.
before you make that jump to become a professional in the sport. And I mean, I just think it's been difficult to get me a fight because a lot of people like to fight until they actually are in there and they're getting punched.
Yeah,
So
right.
I just think it's been difficult. And nobody. My last fight, I won by TKO, and there's not a lot of people, especially girls out there that are fighting that want to get hit for free.
Right.
So yeah, like I don't, but I'm trying to get to the level where I'm getting paid for this, and that's why I'm so down to just fight. And I really don't care who it is. Like just get me something. But yeah, they've been falling out, so it's unfortunate, but a lot of people have been telling me to kind of just get used to it. So
It is the fight life. That is the way the cookie crumbles here.
right.
I mean, I've seen many of my friends and fighter friends just like, hey, gotta fight, and then pulls out of so many different situations, whether
Right.
it's an injury or like they're just having trouble with a cutting weight. But this, I don't know. It's a mystery why they keep pulling out on you, man. Because we talk all the time, and I'm like, yo, what's going on?
Yeah.
And it sucks because I already know what your dreams and your goals are, and I'm definitely down to always support you, be right there to be in your corner, and just keep going. Don't give up. Don't give up on
Right.
it. You are just like climbing to the top. I'm sure Mitch is probably working hard to get somebody to fight with you. But in the
Yeah.
meantime, I just keep your head up.
So we actually, like, we were having trouble with the treats because they're all natural, and we were having trouble with them like spoiling from heat for the most part, just
Mhm.
shipping them and getting them, especially to Miami. I guess it's like hotter over there, and yeah,
Certainly
so
is.
the treats were spoiling, and I obviously had to do something about it, and I did a lot of research, and there's so many things that you can do, but it's not there. It's all artificial. So I finally found a natural preservative, and I'm using that. And so we kind of revamped the ingredients for the treats, and they're ready to go. And if you follow Black Lab Organics on social media, we're gonna have a lot of sales in the next upcoming weeks.
All right. So you already heard it here on the Lisa with a Z podcast. I love the Black Lab Organics treats for Blaze. He
Yes,
is
Blaze.
a fan and we love to post videos, of course, and he's in the middle of training. So those treats come in handy when we're trying to train him right now. So
Yeah.
if you go to Black Lab Organics, hit cat up and let them know that Lisa with a Z sent you. All right. So, Kat, if you don't get a fight for this card on March 13th for Combat Night, do you think that you'll either be commentating or just, hanging around, having a good time at the fight?
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna attend it. I've actually never been to a pro combat night, so that's why I really wanted to fight on the card, because there's just a different set of fans and eyes watching. And my goal, obviously, we just talked about it, is to go pro. So I honestly, like, if I do get a fight, then that's great, but it's kind of messing with me because of the whole weight cut and all that. And I'm doubting it. I just don't know any amateur girl that's gonna hop on like 2 weeks out. But yeah, I'm down to chill. I know you're gonna be there, so definitely down to chill with you and support my team. Fusion is always fighting on these cards, and possibly commentate maybe like a few fights. I definitely love hopping on the female fights, and I know there's at least one of them. So yeah, I'll be there.
Yeah, of course. I will be at Combat Night live at the Pro Card. This is something I've been wanting to do for the longest, like ever since I first went to a Combat Night event and I met Mitch. And like now I'm here, I'm gonna be, interviewing some of the fighters, hanging out, having a good time. And it's all about just, spreading the love, showing
Yeah.
love to the amateur, the local fighters, the pro fighters too, and just the overall love of the sport. And I get to hang out with amazing people and enjoy a good fight night. And yeah, I definitely need you to hop on with me and talk, have a little chat with the guys and the gals in the ring. And
Yeah.
you know what? I'm ready for it. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, the like post interviews and all that type of media stuff is, I think it's super cool. You get to learn a little bit more about the fighter and their personal life. It's big with professional promotions like UFC. They do it all the time, but it's not as big, in local promotions, especially amateurs. Like, we just go in there and fight, and that's it. Like, we get a medal, like a good job. So I
Pat
think
on the back.
right, exactly. And then but adding like you doing this is, I think it's going to be awesome. It's like just adds a bit more flair to combat night, and I think it's such a cool idea. So I'm down. I'm definitely down to help you out.
You know what? It was a thought that I thought about, and then I actually reached out to Lou. Shout out to Lou, Punisher Lou, and my boy on the podcast with the Unprofessional Breakdown,
And
who
he's
is also a commentator for Combat Night now. So he'll be there that night. Congrats to you, my guy. I told him, I pitched him the idea. I was like, what do you think? Well, I was like, do you think Mitch will be all right with, the CEO will be good with this idea? He's like, I've been telling Mitch we need to have a press conference like UFC style for Combat Night. And I'm like, okay, I don't mind. I need to do a little research and need to prepare myself. And, that's a big deal. It's Combat Night, it has to be right. It has to go right. It has to be flowing. Right. And I was like, I think I have the confidence and the skill enough to make sure that I'm upholding the Combat Night, promotion well and representing
Mhm.
it well, which I feel like I've been doing for the longest.
Yeah,
Hello.
we met at Combat Night. Like, we've made so many connections. So Combat Night Queen, Lisa with a Z.
Thank you, my subjects.
No, I think
Oh yeah.
it's like I said, like it's a great addition. Not a lot of people are doing it. Uh, but I've seen like some people, like the fighting news down
Yeah.
south. I
Yeah.
know like Dave from Fight Bananas has been talking about doing that stuff, and he's been doing commentating for island fights and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Um, and it's just, it's not just for the fans, but it's also for the fighters. Like I said, like especially amateurs, you just get a pat on the back and on to the next one. If we win and we get that little 2 minutes to talk about ourselves and how we prepare for the fight or whatever, like it's just makes us feel a little bit more special.
Yeah, because I mean, I obviously I go to fight nights, and when they have that interview right in the cage right after, they're out of breath, they're not thinking
Right.
straight, you're not thinking about all the people that have helped you along the way during your camp or whatever in life. And
Mm-hmm.
then you go back later on and like you're watching that moment, you're like, man, I should just my sponsors, this and this and that. So I feel like that's important for the amateurs, not only for them
Mm-hmm.
to start getting that mindset of being prepared for these types of interviews for the future.
Right. Yeah.
But it's great exposure for them, great exposure for the Lisa with Z podcast. And it's just going to be a good night. And I'm looking forward to it, hanging out with you, hanging out with Mitch and the gang, and just having a great time.
Right. Yeah. And the MMA scene is evolving. There's more people in the sport. There's more people competing. And I just think like it's becoming more organized. Like I said, the UFC does the whole post fight interviews. I know in Invicta and all those types of promotions have really good production teams, and they're pretty legit. But why not do it for a local promotion?
Hey,
So
I told Mitch, I'm like, hey, listen, I was pretty nervous when I told him. I was like, I
yeah,
gotta be legit, I gotta be professional, because this is serious. And Mitch is a great guy, so I knew
Mhm.
that he wouldn't be negative towards it, but I also didn't want to be too short. But
Right, right.
I pitched it, and then it took him a little while to respond to me. And I was
Mhm.
freaking out, anxiety, of course, with kicking me in the butt. I'm like, Lou, I just sent the message. I just sent the message. He's like, he takes a little time to like message back, but he'll answer.
Yeah,
And eventually he did, and it was a go. We were green lit, and he's like, here's the information, here's this and that, and then that was it. And I'm like, you know what? This is what I've been working for. This moment. I
right.
was like, if there's any fight promotion that I would like to debut Lisa with the Z podcast at, it's gonna be a Combat Night. And that's what I told Mitch. And I think that's what sold it.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited, and I mean,
Yeah.
I know you're gonna kill it. You're gonna do a great job.
Yeah, I'm just doing my research now and looking up at all the fighters now and seeing what we
Yeah.
can bring up during, and we'll work something out. We're also gonna
Yeah.
work on a giveaway prize from Lisa with the Z podcast. And I have some sponsors that are gonna be involved in that giveaway. So stay tuned for that. All right, Kat. So thank you so much for coming on another episode of the Lisa with the Z podcast. It is always
Yeah.
a great time chatting with you. I know that we're going to have many more to come because there are many things that we like to talk about. But if the one thing we definitely like to talk about, it's combat sports. So
Yeah.
thank you so much for coming on this episode. Is there
Yeah.
anything else you want to add before we head out?
I mean, I'm just gonna like, for the viewers, I'm just gonna try to be as active as possible and try to find fights. And yeah, and then I mean, before every fight, we've got to talk, and after. So
Yeah.
I'll be back.
Yeah. You heard it exclusively here on the Lisa with the Z podcast. Kat
Yes.
Nelson.
And we'll see each other March 13th.
We will be live at Combat Night March 13th in Orlando for their pro card. It's going to be a crazy night. Tune in and thank you for coming. It's another Friday. We're out. What's up, folks? It's your girl Lisa with a Z. Thank you so much for watching this episode and supporting this podcast. None of this is possible without you guys and the amazing guests that I have on this show. So to be a featured guest or for sponsorship opportunities and collaborations, please contact me at my email address, lisawithazpodcast@gmail.com, or you can hit me up on Instagram, direct message at lisitasol88. All the information will be at the bottom of the description of the page. Don't forget to share, like, subscribe, tag, comment, all of the above. As always, stay positive, stay motivated, and have a good one, guys.